just like that. It takes a little bit of effort here, but it's all worth it, believe me. So now, this is how it looks. There's a nice little wedge right here. And you can use it as a garnish. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move my knife around just a little bit more, just to kind of extract all the juices into my bowl, because you don't want to waste those juices, because I'm telling you, you need to use these juices of the oranges in your potatoes to get that nice taste. So now we have the first cup done, and let's do the second one. And again, very carefully, you just want to just move your knife around, just like so. This one was a lot easier. And you're going to get this little bit of I call it a little stem or something. It almost looks like a flower. And you can either cut that out, or you can just leave it in. It's not going to hurt, because you're not going to eat it anyway. And this is a little bit of a messy job, but like I said, it's worth the effort. It's worth the mess. It really is. So now that I got my 2 cups, my orange cups here prepared, I'm going to set these aside. Now, let's check on these potatoes. They should be done. Yep, they are done just the way they're supposed to be, fork tender. And like I said, because of the size, that's why they cook as fast as they do. So now I'm going to take my bowl, and I'm just going to strain my potatoes. Make sure all the water is out of there, because you don't want that to interfere with the taste. Sometimes you have water in your vegetables. It kind of drowns out the taste of the vegetable itself. And that's not too good. You don't want that. Because I have a crew to feed, so I've got to make sure everybody is taken care of. And you might think when I go over this recipe, you're going to say, that sounds like a sweet potato pie recipe. And actually it is. It's just a sweet potato pie recipe in a cup without the crust. I'm going to turn my heat off right here. Place that here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add my half a stick of butter, just like that. I'm going to use my cream. I have sweetened condensed milk here, and of course you got to have this. This is so great in this type of a dish. Use my spatula to kind of get that out of there. I can smell the potatoes now. This is really smelling great, I'm telling you. It's almost like the holiday. And then I'm going to use maybe, let's see, about 1/2 cup of sugar. Yeah, that's about 1/2 cup of sugar. And then we're going to move it around a little bit there. I'm going to put in some cinnamon. And like I said, it's just like sweet potato pie. So that's about maybe 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon here. And then also, of course, you got to have nutmeg. That gives it a nice taste, just like home. All right. So now what I'm going to do is take my masher, and I'm just going to mash these all in together. Just like that. And I'm trying to get all the lumps out. You can use a mixer if you want to, or the masher works just as well. But you can see all of this is just coming together just fine. And like I said, it looks just like what you would put in a sweet potato pie. And for those who don't like sweet potatoes, you can always add your, you can do it with pumpkin. Now, I'm not sure. I believe I did not put in my vanilla, so I'm just going to put a little bit of vanilla in there. That's going to give it a nice taste. And you just mash it up again. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to taste this, because I got to make sure it tastes good before I put it in my orange cups. So let's just make sure it has enough sugar. It does. It just tastes just so good. All it's missing is just a crust. So now I'm going to take my oranges. Take my oranges here. Move this out the way here. All you have to do is, you can do it one of two ways too. You can pipe these in from a piping bag, if you have such a thing, or you can just spoon them into with a spoon. That's all you have to do. So I'm going to put this filling into an orange cup, just like that. You can fill it up as high as you want. Probably not too high because you don't want it spilling over. But that's one. And you just keep filling it until you get to the rim here. And you know, you don't have to be extremely neat. You know, it's going to be okay. You know, it doesn't matter as long as it looks good when it comes out. That's the bottom line. Now, one of the things I like to do, and you all know me, I love pecans, so I add pecans almost in everything. So I'm going to sprinkle this with the pecans, and with the heat, once it goes into the oven, it's going to toast up the pecans just fine. So now, I'm going to put this in my little foil cup here. In fact, we can fit 2 on there just fine. Wipe down my table a bit here. Now, I have a chicken, as you know, my hen has been in here, and it's been in about 15 minutes actually. So I'm going to take it out and put my orange cups in. And now this is going in the oven at 325 degrees for about 15 minutes because you just want it just a little bit brown on top and you want your pecans to be toasted. And that's all you do. Okay, now that we have our orange yam cups all prepared, I'm going to start my asparagus with the garlic. I'm going to start with a hot pan, and I'm going to put in here about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. That's about 2 turns, 2.5 turns actually. And then one of the things you want to prevent, you don't want your oil to burn or even your butter to burn. So I'm going to add a little bit of butter also to the pan to give it a little bit of flavor. So you got olive oil and you have your butter taste here. Now, one of the things, as you know, may not know about asparagus, is that they have this very woody end here at the bottom of the plant. And so there's something you don't want to, you definitely don't want to eat. It's very tough. It tastes very woody. But you can use those stems, if you want, to prepare a soup. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut off these ends here, because I also want my asparagus to fit in the pan. And my butter and my olive oil is browning just fine. I just want it a little brown, not dark, of course. And, of course, you can snap them off easily just like that. Very simple. So that's done. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to place them in the pan. And you can smell the butter and the olive oil together. It's a very nutty smell to it. It is simply a wonderful smell. One of the things I'm going to do also, I am going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to give it a little bit of a taste. And of course, like I said, I always use ground pepper, freshly ground pepper. It's a wonderful fresh taste. And seeing that that's all I can fit in my pan, I'm not going to force any more in there. But I'm going to take my spoon here and just kind of work them around. And with this particular recipe, when you're cooking like even a broccoli or an asparagus like this, you don't